Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to show you how I decoupage these plain canvas pouches using napkins. Now these are just the plain DIY canvas bags. I ordered these from Amazon. They're not lined inside or anything. They measure 4.5 by 8 inches. I think you can get these also at, I saw them at Hobby Lobby. They're a little bit bigger than this though. I think they're like 6 by 9, and then they have a pencil case type size. But I like this size. There's plenty to work with here. And so let's get started. The supplies that we're gonna need, of course, is our canvas bag. You're gonna use fabric Mod Podge with this. Now, one thing I want to say about this, I have never used it before, and I was really surprised when I opened it. It's very, very thick, and it has a strong odor to it. So if you're sensitive to smells, just beware when you open it. I thought it was quite overwhelming at first, so just wanted to mention that. You're going to need a paintbrush. We're going to need some parchment paper, an iron. I'm using my little handy dandy iron today. I don't use this crafting iron all that much. I usually use my big one, but today for this I will be using my small one. If you do use a full-size iron, you'll want to set it on probably medium heat and make sure that the steam is off on it. And then you're going to need a napkin of your choice. Now you can use a cocktail size napkin. That would fit about this much of the pouch, so you'll have a little bit of room over there. Or if you want to use a bigger napkin, the dinner size napkin, if you want to cover your whole pouch, you can do that. So whatever napkin of your choice is fine. And as always, when we're using napkins, you want to make sure that you take all the plies off. They come in 2 and 3 plies. I started reading the packages now because I've been surprised. Sometimes I pull the ply off thinking it's a 2-ply. I put it on my work, and once I Mod Podge it, it starts bubbling and pulling up because it was actually a 3-ply napkin, and I did not read the package, so I don't know. But it's on the package if it's a 2-ply or a 3-ply, so you want to check that out so that you have only your top ply. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so I have been working on bags, and I have one that's already prepped. But the first thing that you're going to want to do is you want to put a nice coat of Mod Podge on your bag. I will be doing more of these, so I'm going to just go ahead and get another one ready. See how thick that is? It's a lot thicker than the matte and the gloss that we use for a lot of our other projects. I have several napkins out. I'm just going to do just this part of it here. I'll be using these cocktail size napkins for a few more bags that I have in mind. So you want to try and get it the size of the napkin that you're going to be using. Okay, we have a nice coat on. We're going to put it aside. We're going to let it dry for several hours, or if you're doing a lot of these, I do multiples a lot of times, things like this, or trivets or coasters. I will just put several out, I Mod Podge them all, and I just let them sit. I've gone back 2 weeks after I've put Mod Podge on coasters to finish them up, and I have never had a problem. When we use the iron-on method, the heat from the iron will activate the Mod Podge. So you can prep several of these at a time and just let them sit. So yesterday I did this one, Live with Zest. And once this side was all dry, I went ahead and I Mod Podged the other side. So that one is going to be ready to use. Now, when we use napkins, we want to decal or fray the edges so that it will blend into our canvas bag. If you leave a straight line, which you can, if you like that, if you want that look, that's the look you're going to get. You will see that this is in a square. So a couple different ways of doing this. Probably the most popular way, which I honestly I have trouble with, so I don't use it very often. But probably the most popular way to do that is with a paintbrush, water. You dip your brush in water and then you just go along the edges and you wet them. I have trouble with that because I must have a heavy hand or something, and I end up with a very wet napkin. So I will either gently just tear at the edges. You know, we just want to get that straight edge off is all we're doing. So we can tear at it a little bit. And you could see, you know, it's kind of deckled there, or an emery board. I've had luck with an emery board, just fraying these little edges here. I think this one. Just want to push on it a little bit and it will take off a little bit of the napkin. So you can do it that way also. And then, of course, after I go all the way around, I'm going to pull off, you know, these that are really sticking up. But that's how I do it, either an emery board or I just tear it a little bit. I have one here. I did this one. I started it with an emery board and then I just started tearing it a little bit. So we are ready to put this on, and there's Bella. Say hi, Bella. She just woke up from her nap. So one thing I learned, and I'm going to show you how it came to be, is when you're doing the other side, I work on a plastic mat. So either put a piece of paper in between or put your work on a piece of parchment paper. And I'll show you what happened to me earlier today when I didn't do that. So we're going to lay our napkin down. Now, remember I had already put Mod Podge on it last night, so it was ready for today. Going to lay our napkin down, parchment paper on top. Got my little iron. And I am just gonna iron back and forth. Want to make sure that I get the edges really well. But we iron this, I love the iron method. I use this for almost all of my projects. They're very, very seldom will you ever have any kind of wrinkles. It's so simple to do this. I tried the saran wrap, and 9 out of 10 times my saran wrap was stuck to my project, and I ended up pulling my napkin up. So this is just so much easier for me. Although if I am working on something round and I do need to get wrinkles out, I found that using a baggie, it was much better for me. Maybe because it's thicker, but I will just wrap a baggie around it and smooth it out, and that works. But I like this. I try to use this as much as I possibly can. So let's see what we have. I'm going to pull this up now. Okay, and you could see, I know there's a couple edges here that I didn't get real good. I'm going to go over those again. There's a few up here. But you could see how it just blends into the fabric. I mean, that turned out really nice. Let me get these up here yet. And it's possible I didn't get the Mod Podge all the way up there, and that's why it isn't sticking. But we're going to coat this again. So, it doesn't matter. I iron these twice. I do it the original time like now, and after I Mod Podge again and it dries, I iron once more. You don't have to do that, but that's how I do it. So that is better. You can see that it's blended in to the fabric. Okay, so now we're going to put on another coat. And I always say my second coat is more for the edges than anything else, because we definitely want to make sure that our edges are secure. And no matter what I'm doing, my second coat, I make sure that I'm focusing on the edges and getting those down really well. See how thick this is? This is just, I don't know why I was so surprised. I've never worked with fabric Mod Podge before, but I just did not expect it to be this thick. I don't know. I mean, I've put fabric like on the bottom of plates, but I just used my regular Mod Podge, so I don't know. But it's okay. But it does have an odor, so, like I said, please, if you've never worked with it before, just, make sure that you're aware of that. Okay, so I have my second coat of Mod Podge on. I'm going to just let this sit. It's going to dry for a few hours. I'm going to go back. I'm going to iron again just to make sure that it's down real well. Now, a couple things. I'm sure you can hear how sticky this is. I did this yesterday. I did it in the evening. What I found is these need to sit for at least 2 days before the stickiness goes away. So just, just be aware of that. I am going to show you what happened to me earlier today. So I had one side done. I, again, did it last night, and I did this side earlier. Well, when I was ironing it, I had the side that was done, I just had it down on my plastic mat. I didn't have the parchment paper down, and you could see right here the heat from the iron, and using the plastic mat, it just pulled that little strip off. So there's a lesson for me right there, to put a piece of parchment paper between so that heat doesn't get all the way through. Or this bag I just did, I had it on the bottom. So either way, I think it's going to work, but there you go. That's what happens. So a couple things about these bags. Like I said, give them a good 2 days before they're not sticky. I did this one on Monday, and as you can see, it's not sticky at all. It's actually very, very smooth. This was done with a bigger napkin. I think that's really cute the way it turned out. I'm going to look through my jewelry supplies. I have a lot of charms. I think I'm going to see what I can find, something really pretty to put on the end of that, or maybe make a tassel with some yarn and stick it on the end. Put it up there. And then I had this one too. This is a little bit sticky yet. I did this one yesterday morning. Still a little bit sticky. So I'm waiting for that one, and this one too. This one is still really sticky. I did this one last night. But look at that napkin, is so pretty. And then I thought, well, let me see what happens if I use paint. And so I put some paint around this napkin. For these little smaller napkins, I think maybe it just makes it stand out a little bit more. I just took my dabber. I like using these dabbers, and dabbed it in paint and just went all along the border here and painted it. So I'll just look for a little something yet to put on it, but this one, maybe a little bit sticky yet, not much. So, you know, just remember that if your bags are sticky, it won't last. After about a week, these need to cure for a week. They can be wiped off. I don't know if they can be thrown in the washer. So I have heard, though, from people that have done these, that after a week they have just wiped them off. Let me put this back up. There we go. That they have just wiped the front of it off, you know, with a damp rag, and it was fine. Nothing happened to it. But I think this one turned out pretty. I like it. I like all of them. They just need to get the stickiness out, and I have to get my paints out and finish these up. But I just love the rustic look and the farmhouses and things like that. So I just love this napkin. But you know, this is on there really, really well. You can't feel any of the edges. This iron-on method, you won't be able to feel any of the napkin edges. It won't come up. It's sealed into that canvas. So that is how I do the canvas bags. I hope you enjoyed this video. If this is your first time joining me, I thank you and I welcome you. I hope everyone is having a great day. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and until next time, bye-bye for now.